Hello guys, and welcome to the stream to my channel at All for Aviation. And today we are flying from Istanbul, the new airport, with the ICAO code Lima Foxtrot, Lima Tango Foxtrot Mike to Ljubljana, Lima Juliet, and we're operating a flight with Turkish Airlines Airbus A320. So we can start up this Airbus and start with our flight. And we're also flying on the IVAO network again as last Tuesday, when IVAO online evening of IVAO Slovenia is active, and we will join this evening in about 2 hours for Slovenia when landing in Ljubljana. So let's start the aircraft for now. Firstly the batteries, and then the external power and the navigation lights, followed by no smoking signs and emergency lights. Then we can also check the ADRS to navigation position. The ADRS are set, and we may continue now with firstly turning on the MCDU number 2, and then I will also tune in the zero fuel weight and the fuel that we need for our flight, and we have the aircraft ready. So the zero fuel weight will be 56.2, and the fuel needed for the flight is 7.9 tons. And we have everything set now, and now I'll program the flight in the initialization page, and I will continue and tune in the departure airport and the arriving airport. Lima Tango Foxtrot Mike for departing airport, and the arriving is Lima Juliet. And now here is the actual route that will fly, so I will insert it. The flight number will be Turkish 79er Alpha Victor. The cost index is 35, and cruising flight level will be 360. I will set the departure runway, which will be 35 right, so this one, and we are using Vaden to Delta departure. I'll check the route for the first time and check the discontinuities, and I will also tune in the arriving runway, which will be probably runway 30 with Magam transition, the Magam arrival, Magam to Lima or Magam 1 Romeo, which is enough. I can use it this way, and we have everything set for now. Then going to Init and fuel prediction settings, I will copy the settings, and I will write down the takeoff weight, which is 63.9er, as I'll need to set the performance page with this takeoff weight, as I will tune in the takeoff weight in the calculator, which will calculate the needed V-speeds for this departure from Istanbul New Airport. And as far as I can see, now also the Turkish radar is online, so I can contact him before departure, and then there will be probably no ATC service till reaching Slovenia. I will set QNH 1014, and we are more or less ready. We'll need to wait for the RS to align, which is 3 minutes left, and we can close our doors for now. And I will also calculate the V-speeds for our departure, as we are waiting for the RS to align. I will again check the takeoff weight, which is 63.9er. And I will depart from the Charlie 5 Alpha intersection, so we'll need to mention that in the calculator. And now I have this V-speeds, which are as it follows. V1 is 145, V rotate 147, and V2 148. And then the flex temperature is 67 degrees, and we'll use flaps 1 with trim of downforce for 0.3. And we have performance page checked now, and we still need to wait for the aligning process, but we can also start up the APU for now. And I will also turn on the fuel pumps, as I will contact the controller in few minutes after the RLS is aligned, and then we'll continue with the taxi. Seems like the RSs are aligned, and here is our departing route with Vaden departure, and we're also, the flap is open, so the APU can start now. And after the APU will be started, we will turn off the external power, and I'll use this function of calling the mechanic, which will turn off the off blocks and chocks, and we'll set the parking brake, and then we're ready to be on our power, as he will disconnect the ground power. And now we can contact the controller. I will check the frequency and talk to him. The frequency is going to be 132 decimal 125. And here we have it. And now I will check everything if I'm ready, and I will contact the controller for now. And we can also start the before start checklist to the line, which is mobiles are off, cockpit preparation is completed, gear pins and covers are removed, signs are on. We'll check that if that's on, not yet, and checking to on. We see that APU is on, and we'll turn on the APU bleed and turn on the PEX. And I'll disconnect the external power and call the mechanic, which will remove the ground power, and the chocks will be removed. And I have a parking brake set, so and we can unlock, we can lock the doors of the cockpit. Then the fuel quantity is 7.9 tons as planned.
I have lost 1802, speed list 190.
Speed 190, Aeroflot 1802.
The frequency is active, as we can see. Takeoff data and VBUX, continuing our set.
Aeroflot 180 ton left heading 300 descent 2000.
Turn left heading 3,000 feet, Aeroflot 180.
Too much broke, repeat again.
Aeroflot 1802, turn left heading 300 and descend 2,000 feet.
Affirmative, thank you. Expedite descent.
So now
Aeroflot 1802, no ATC restriction, turn left heading 210, clear ILS 18 left.
Turn left heading 210, Aeroflot 902, clear for ILS 18.
I'll now try to contact the controller, and I will tune for the IFR clearance to Ljubljana. So let's talk to him. Ankara Control, good evening. Turkish 79er Alpha Victor at stand Hotel 31 Lima at Istanbul New Airport. Request IFR clearance to Ljubljana.
79 Alpha Victor, good evening Ankara, you are clear of destination Ljubljana. As filed, 1 and 3 data, departure 35 left, initial climb 8,000 feet, transponder 1727.
Clear to destination Ljubljana via Addons 3 Delta departure, runway 35 left, initially 8,000 feet, and squawk is 1727 for Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
79 Alpha Victor, read back correct, push and start able, scope and for taxi.
Roger, star approved, and we'll call you for taxi, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Route 1802, what runway did we expect?
1802, 18 left, surface wind
18 left.
100 degrees, surface wind 100 degrees, 9 and out, runway 18 left, clear land.
One eight left, clear to land Aeroflot 180.
And now, as you can hear, we have the clearance for the startup, and I am now free to start the engines. So we'll do the before start checklist below the line, which is anti-skid and nose steering is on because we're not pushbacking, and windows and doors are closed. The lock, close the locker here, and let me check the doors again. The doors are closed, and we can also see here that the doors are closed. And then continuing, the beacon light is set on. The thrust levers are set to idle,
1802. This time you are
and parking brake is
again.
on.
Turn left heading 090. Immediately turn left heading 090. This time 18 center. Full ILS approach runway 18 center. Immediately turn left 090. Maintain
Turn left
2000.
090
Maintain 2000 feet.
and maintain 2000 feet airport 1802.
And be prepared to ILS approach runway 18 center.
18 center airport 1802.
The APU is on, the fuel pumps are set, and we're ready for the startup. And we'll start up firstly the left engine, the engine number 1, and then continue with engine 2.
Center 46 Delta, surface wind for Gökçen 040 degrees 15 knots, runway 06, clear for takeoff.
Runway 06 clear for takeoff, Sun 46 down.
Today we are using the EIE motors, which are not the motors I use the most time, as I use the CFM, but we'll see how it goes as we fly from Istanbul to Ljubljana. And the engine number 1 is starting. As we can see, the EGT is rising, and also the N1 at least. And the fuel flow is about 400 kilograms per hour. And when the engine is stabilized, we'll turn on the engine number 2, and then we'll call for the taxi. And also I forgot to check that we are using the runway 35 left for now, as we have another runway, not the 35 right, with Addons to Delta departure.
Aeroflot 180 to turn left heading 360.
Turn left heading 360 airport 180.
And also climb 3000 feet.
Climb 3000 feet airport 180.
And I also need to again check in the performance space as the runway has changed, and we have the engine 1 started, and we can start the engine number 2.
Turkish 7 Bravo Mike, expect approach localizer 19er, Atsal 1 Yankee, correction Atsal 1 Victor.
Expecting runway 1, localizer 19er and Atsal 1 Victor, arrival Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
We can see the engine 2 is also starting up now. The fuel flow is positive, and we have EGT rising, and the N2 and also N1 is rising.
Turkish 7 Bravo Mike, and also after Atsal proceed direct Bunun. Bravo Uniform November, then continue start.
After Atsal, direct Bunun, Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
Engines are started, mode selector is
Center
normal.
46 Delta, airborne.
Speed rate armed, rudder trim reset, flaps departing, flaps 1, and we are also now closing the APU
Proceed direct
and the APU bleed,
climb flight
and
level
we are
240
ready,
Sun Turk 460.
and now we're ready for taxi, and we'll call the controller. Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, request taxi, and we are facing south.
79er Alpha Victor, no need, departure taxi, route taxi, so short runway 35 right, November 3 and Charlie left on Charlie, Charlie 1 Alpha, QNH 1014.
QNH 1014, and we're taxiing to runway 35 right via November 3, Charlie and Charlie 1 Alpha, the Turkish 79er Alpha Victor.
Airport 1802 request left heading.
Parking brake off,
180
taxi lights on, and we are ready for taxi.
Turn left heading 270 Airport 1802.
We'll firstly turn to the left here, correction to the right, and then continuing on Charlie and Charlie 1 Alpha, which is by the runway. And we'll set the outer brakes to max position, and we can also start, we'll continue with before takeoff checklist. We'll check the flight controls to full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and also rudder to full left and full right. We'll need to continue here to...
Okay, so Bravo Mike 1 ready, descend over Bunun, altitude 11,000 feet, QNH 1007.
When ready, we'll descend 1000 at Bunun with QNH 1007, Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
Aeroflot 1802, left heading 210, clear ILS 18 center.
Airport 1802, turn left heading 210, clear to ILS 18 center. Thank you.
Continuing with the checklist, flight instruments are check. Briefing was confirmed as we're departing the Addons 3 Delta departure out of runway 2, correction 35 left.
79 Alpha Victor Charlie 55 for next right side. Position through if you want, cross runway 35 right, line up and wait runway 35 left.
Roger, when ready we can turn to the right, if possible Charlie 5 Alpha, and then continuing and line up runway 35 left, just confirm for Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Affirmative.
Roger, thank you. So we get a shortcut here at as we planned with this intersection for departure, but now we're departing just the runway at the left side. So we'll cross this runway, we'll turn on the strobe lights as we're crossing the runway, and we can set it to auto for now, and then we will line up and depart from Istanbul. The flaps configuration is number 1, and takeoff speeds were checked. Transponder will be set now to TNRA and
Counter 46
on.
Delta, climb final flight level 340.
Climb flight level 340 Sun Turk 460.
I've set the proximity warning system, and the
Turkish 7 9 Alpha Victor surfacing 060 degrees 11 knots runway 35 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff, runway 35 left, Turkish 7.5 Victor. And here we got a clearance, and we have also completed before takeoff checklist.
You are approaching wrong runway 18 center. I give you 18 center, but you are now
Vocalizer
approaching
establish
18
18 center. Y and 18 center. Sorry, airport 180. Vocalizer is established.
Roger. If you make it, wind 110 degrees 9 knots, runway 18 center, clear land.
Clear to land 18 center, airport 180.
We have the clearance, and we'll be taking off in a minute now. And we have before takeoff checklist checked, and we are ready for departure. So I'll firstly get the power to about 50% and then continuing to flex mode. So here we go. Thrust approximately at 50% will be stable and now, and we will step off the brakes and continue with flex. Manual flex SRS, and we are ready and continuing. .100 knots. V1 and rotate. We got positive climb with gear up. And we got a stable departure.
Sound Alpha Victor at the contact, continue more entry, that's open climb, flight level 160.
Now going to climb thrust.
Turkish 7 Bravo Mike, unable to execute runway 19 localizer and requests RMP for runway 19 with same star and same restrictions.
Sam Bravo Mike, request approach, RMP approach on 19er, continue outside 1 with writing or Yankee pressure.
We request outside 1 whiskey after outside Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
Same star after Asal, prostatic bunun at flight level, correction altitude 1000 feet. Asal 1 Victor, RMP approach 19er.
Same instructions, 1000 at bunun, then we'll proceed Asal 1 Victor for RMP runway 19er, Turkish 7 Bravo Mike. Thank you.
I've set the flaps position 0.
Thanks for cooperation.
And we're climbing on the open climb to flight level 160. And also probably we'll get direct to the exit point of Turkish airspace, but we'll see how it goes. We'll arm the spoilers at this point and turn off the nose lights.
180 Delta 1, next left, vacate runway 18 center, gate of your choice.
Okay, thank you, airport 1802.
But as the
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor cancel aside left, approach direct Vaden, climb flight level 360.
Direct to Aden and climb flight level 360. Thank you very much, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. And here we got direct to Aden as a shortcut.
102, runway 18, center vacated, stay. Parking my choice.
Yeah, affirmative.
And as we're flying direct to Aden, we'll also climbing flight level 360, which is our final flight level. And we'll be reaching...
Turkish 7 Brown Line.
Go ahead, sir.
Are you online? Check.
Affirmative. I'm online. Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
Yeah, I see you now in my radar stream. Take.
Turkish 7 Bravo Mike, thank you.
We'll check for now the arrival, how it is planned.
Airflows 1802, welcome to Ontario, Monitor Unicom 12.8, good evening, bye bye.
Airflow 1802, thank you for your control, sorry for my bad English, goodbye.
Oh, that's okay. Bye bye, see you soon.
As I checked the arrival, we can also anticipate that we'll get the radar vectors at Ljubljana, but we have planned the Magam 1 Romeo arrival for now, as we don't know which arrival, if we'll get the radar vectors, but we'll continue now. We're climbing from flight level 110 further, and we can turn off the landing lights and the wing lights. And this also we can turn off the seatbelt signs for now, and we're further climbing inbound to Aden, and then we're entering the Bulgarian airspace, and somewhere there is our top of climb where we will be at flight level 360, which is our final flight level. And also the standard QNH can be set right now as we're crossing the transition altitude. And now we'll further continue down to the sunset, in the direction to the sunset, as we're flying more or less to the west. And we can check the Zulu time of arrival from to Ljubljana, which is 18:30. That is approximately at 20:30 local time. So we'll see if the sun will still shine at our approach, but I think that there will be the nightfall just before our arrival to Ljubljana. And now more or less our uneventful flight starts, as we're climbing to our cruise level and then cruising for about 1 hour, so nothing will really happen. As for now, there are no ATC online through the Balkans region, and the first controller is at Slovenia, as I said before, and we're flying online on the IVAO network, as I said before. So we'll reach Slovenia, and probably if some ATC will come online.
After continue descent via RMP approach runway 19er, QNH 100 top.
After Bunun, clear to RMP approach runway 19er via Asal 1 Whiskey, QNH 1007 Turkish 7 Bravo Mike.
Suntil 454, passing flight level 320, climbing flight level 320 inbound Dugla.
Suntil 454, press direct ASTEF, maintain flight level 310. Report final for descent, I expect ILS is 06.
Proceed direct ASTEF, Suntil 454.
Maintain flight level 310, expect ILS 06.
Expect ILS runway 06 and flight level 310.
We are now 40 miles inbound Addons, which is the exit point of the Turkish airspace, and will enter the Bulgarian airspace. And we will reach approximately flight level 280 or even more at Addons, and will further continue with the climb, as top of climb is further into the Bulgarian airspace. And then we'll further cross the Serbian airspace and the Croatian airspace before entering the Slovenian airspace. And we'll cross the Balkans.
Alpha Victor, you are in my space now, chase Unicom 122 decimal 8, have a nice flight, bye bye.
Going Unicom 122 decimal 8, Turkish 7 Anna, Alpha Victor, thank you very much, bye bye.
See you soon, bye.
And now we are leaving to the Unicom 122 decimal 8 and we'll tune in. And here we are now on the Unicom crossing the Balkan region. And there's no controller for now online, but if someone comes online, we'll surely have to contact him. We are now inside the Bulgarian airspace and climbing further to flight level 360, which we will reach in about 40 to 45 miles ahead of us, as now we're crossing the flight level 290, and then we're continuing to our next point through the Balkans. And now we're just 20 miles inbound the top of climb, and we're climbing from flight level 340, crossing in a minute, and further to flight level 360. And for now still no ATC in the Balkan region, and we can expect the controller in Slovenia, and as far as I can see there are 4 arrivals into Ljubljana right now and 1 departure. So it will be fine in an hour and a half. For those who are just joining in, we're flying from the Istanbil New Airport to Ljubljana on the IVAO network and we are right now into Bulgarian airspace, climbing to flight level 360, and we'll soon continue into Serbian airspace, then Croatian airspace, and finally Slovenian airspace, and we will land at Ljubljana airport. And now we are reaching flight level 360, which is our final flight level, and we'll continue with the flight at this cruise level through all of the airspaces that I mentioned just before. And so the flight continues, and we have around 1 hour and 20 minutes ahead of us. Now we can also see the next waypoint, which is Tuvar at the border of Serbia and Croatia. As we're crossing the Bulgaria, we're inbound at that point at flight level 360, and the flight for now will be uneventful, so the descent will start in the Croatian airspace, and then the thing will also start to be more interesting throughout the arrival phase and the descending, and then at least the approach phase will be interesting at Ljubljana. And also we're flying inbound west side, and we can see the sunset just in front of us. So we're continuing, and we'll be in Tuvar in about an hour if I'm right, but we can check that. Not in an hour, but in a half an hour, if this is everything planned okay. So we're continuing, and we'll see how the flight goes. Just an information update, we are right now still in the Bulgarian airspace, but in few miles we will be very near the Serbian border, and we'll join the Serbian airspace just between the city of Niš and Belgrade, and then we'll continue with the flight towards the Tuvar airport, Tuvar intersection, and we will also overfly the city of Belgrade, and then we'll continue, and here we can also see the top of descent point, which is in around 260 nautical miles. So we're continuing, and still no controller is online, but at Slovenia there are the radar controller, and the flight information service is also provided, as the online evening is right now in operation at Slovenian IVAO Slovenia. So come in and fly out of Ljubljana, Portorož and or Maribor, so we have more traffic there. So join us. And as you can see in the chat, there is also our controller in the chat right now, and he will be controlling today at the Ljubljana radar station. He's the approach controller, and we'll contact him on the arrival path from the Magam, and he will provide us hopefully with the vectors towards the ILS for runway 30. Let's see what he'll say in the chat. And coming up with the status update, we're now entering the Serbian airspace, and further to the left we could see the airport of Niš and the city of Niš, and we're continuing the way to Tuvar. And now I'll also check the weather at Ljubljana, so we'll be ready with the performance and everything as we planned, hopefully. And here we got the weather from Ljubljana. Right now the wind is from 260 degrees and 3 knots. The visibility is greater than 10 kilometers. There are few clouds at 4,000 feet. The temperature is 25 degrees and the dew point is 20 degrees. The QNH 1017 and no significant change. Okay, so for now everything is ready, and we can also insert into the performance page the QNH, which will be 1017, and then the temperature will be 25 degrees as set, and the wind is blowing from 260 degrees at 3 knots, and then the radio altitude, or the decision height, is currently 177 at Ljubljana, so we'll be performing the ILS approach. But as we can see, the weather is fine, but if we will see that the weather also at Ljubljana is fine as it is right now, we'll also try to perform a visual approach from Dolsko if possible. But we'll try to decide that later when we reach Ljubljana, or when we reach the Slovenian airspace. Currently we are almost halfway to Ljubljana, and the flight for now was uneventful, as I said, and we had the controller in Turkish airspace as we departed from the Istanbul New Airport. We're at a remote stand at this point, as we weren't at the stand with a jetway. And now we're continuing to Ljubljana. We are almost at halfway, and we'll overfly the city of Belgrade and then continue into the Croatian airspace. And finally, when up and landing in Ljubljana, we will probably taxi to the stand of 3 or 4, which are the stands with a jetway. So we will deboard the passengers, and we have completed our flight from Turkish Airlines with our Airbus A320. And this Airbus A320 is from FSLabs with the latest update, which was released a few weeks ago. And that release is really great, and you can check it also on my channel, as I made a video of this update, and also I'm making videos of the other updates of the FSLabs, so feel free to check them out. And yeah, we're continuing with the flight, and we can also see the top of descent point, which will be right between the Croatian airspace from toward Magam. here I will show you now the better view as we are slowly flying over the city of Belgrade. The city of Belgrade is right in front of us by the river, and there is also an airport of Belgrade, Nikola Tesla, located right here by the clouds. And here is the whole city, which is the biggest and the capital city of Serbia. And further we're continuing in the way of the sunset as we're flying towards Ljubljana, and the first point now is Tuvar, and after Tuvar we'll continue to Magam throughout the Croatian airspace, and then after Magam we'll continue with the arrival towards Ljubljana, and we're also flying on the IVAO network. As I said before many times, we're flying towards the online evening for Slovenian division. So if you're also online, please join us and make some traffic to the controllers at Ljubljana. We are now back in the virtual cockpit, and we can see now also the arriving airport is about 240 nautical miles away from us. This is Lima Juliet Airport, or Ljubljana. And right here at Tuvar we will enter the Croatian airspace and we'll board across the Serbian and Croatian airspace. And further we're continuing direct to the Magam, and we'll also overfly the city of Zagreb, which is the biggest and capital city of Croatia. And then upon Magam we'll further descend with the top of descent point, which is around 120 nautical miles out, and we'll start with the descent to approximately flight level 160 to reach Magam at flight level 160 approximately for further descent to Ljubljana. And we're expecting ILS approach for now, but if the weather will be fine, we'll also request visual approach, and we'll see how it goes. And we have right now overflown the waypoint named Tuvar, which is at the border crossing for Serbia to Croatia. And further, we're continuing inbound now to Magam, which is the point at the Slovenian side in the Slovenian airspace. And at the halfway to the Magam, we'll start with a descent to approximately flight level 160 for now. And further, we'll continue then and expect the ILS approach for runway 30 at Ljubljana for now. And we'll contact the controller just before reaching Magam, and we will see how everything goes. And by the way, we can also check the weather again for Ljubljana, the meter station, and let's see if everything is, anything has changed. So the wind has changed for a bit, and the temperature is also, and we can also enter that information as the QNH is the same, stays the same. The temperature is 1 degree colder to the 24 degrees, and the wind is 230 for 2 knots. That's almost nothing. And the radio altitude stays the same, and we'll be using the full configuration. And we can see that the landing speed will be around 134 knots. So that's it for this phase of flight. Just before reaching the top of descent, we'll do some checklist, and then we're ready to descend towards Ljubljana. We are now right now 30 nautical miles away from the top of descent point. We'll descend then to the initially flight level 160 and 180, and we can also see the other traffic is also 30 miles before us, in front of us, which is, let me see, the Aegean Airlines flying from the Santorini to Munich, and he will also fly the Slovenian airspace, but I will descend to this into Slovenian airspace and land at Ljubljana airport, as now we have the estimated time of arrival in approximately 30 minutes or even less. So we'll prepare the aircraft for the descent, and then we'll continue to Magam and in descent, and further we will talk to the controller which is at Ljubljana radar station, and we'll probably get the radar vectors for the ILS runway 30, and let's prepare the aircraft now. So I have entered the performance page, which is fully set and ready for the approach. We'll let that for later. I'll leave that for later. And as far as I see, we have everything ready and set. So we will slowly continue with and start with our descent as we are approaching the top of descent point. Everything looks great, so when reaching top of descent, we will descend to flight level 160 to reach Magam. And right now we're at top of descent point and descending to flight level 160. We can also see the arrow, the blue arrow near Magam, and that arrow is when we will reach the flight level that we have inserted in the control panel for the autopilot, and it seems like that we will reach flight level 160 right after reaching Magam. So we'll continue in the descent, and following, when we'll be a few miles inbound Magam, we'll contact the Slovenian controller on Ljubljana radar. We're now descending with 2500 feet per minute, and we're descending further to flight level 160 for now, and onto the left we will overfly the city of Zagreb and the airport of Zagreb, and then we'll continue into Slovenian airspace. So I will take a closer look at the windshield. Here on to the left you can see the city of Zagreb, but I don't think that we could see the airport, as it is more to the left. We're now nearing the Slovenian airspace, and I will tune the frequency of 135.275, which is the Ljubljana radar frequency, and I will talk to the controller as I am now a few miles into Magam, which is the border crossing from Croatia to Slovenia, and let's see what the controller has for us.
For taxi for our next VFR flight back to Ljubljana.
Sierra Golf Yankee, Roger via Bravo, line up and wait, runway 33, backtrack approved, QNH 1014.
QNH 1014, and we'll backtrack via Bravo, Sierra Golf Yankee.
Ljubljana radar, živo, dober večer, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor inbound to Magam, descending crossing flight level 210.
Turkish 79er Alpha Victor Ljubljana radar, Živjo identified after Magam, fly heading to 80 vectoring for ILS approach, runway 30, descend to 8000 feet, QNH 1017.
Roger, descending 8000 feet, QNH 1017, and we are vectored for ILS approach, runway 30, and after Magam we'll continue on the heading of 280, Turkish 79 after Victor. So we'll set the 8000 feet, and the transition level will be flight level 110. This is where we will tune the QNH of 1017, which is still active.
157, climb to flight level 140.
Up to flight level 140, liquid 157.
Now I'll tune the constraints in, and the airports will be deleted, and we are now descending to 8000 feet as here, and after Magam we'll continue on heading 280, and then we'll also tune in that we have vectors for the ILS approach, runway 30.
Ljubljana Sever, GN 640.
IGN 640, runway 14, cleared for takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 3 knots.
Winds copy ready. 640.
And IGN 640, report passing Mike Rommel.
I've tuned the heading 280, which was after Magam, and now we'll also check that we'll have the vectors of the ILS without the
Sierra
star.
Golf Yankee squawk 3320. Sierra Golf Yankee, Ljubljana.
Sierra Golf Yankee.
IGN 9 Kilo Lima, contact Win Radar 134.350, ciao.
Contact Wien Radar on 134.350 for Eugene 9 Kilo Lima. Thank you for controlling, yeah.
Bye bye. Olympic 1,
Rex.
Olympic 157 identified after Valo, fly heading 230, vectoring for ILS approach runway 30.
After Valu heading 230 and vectors for the ILS runway 30, Olympic 157. And for your information, Gian 640 has crashed on takeoff.
Olympic 157, roger, thank you.
Sierra Golf Yankee, ready for departure.
Sierra Golf Yankee, runway 32, clear for takeoff, wind 06, correction 130 degrees, 4 knots after departure, right report overhead Papa Echo 1, 3000 feet.
Cleared for takeoff 3, and we'll report Papa Echo 1 and 3000 feet, Sierra Golf Yankee.
Ljubljana radar, Rex 628, taxi VFR.
Reg 62, Ljubljana, radar, Živjo. Taxi to holding point Bravo, runway 33, QNH 1014.
Taxi holding point Bravo, runway 33, QNH 1014 for Rex.
Olympic 157, report speed.
340 indicated, Olympic 157.
Olympic 157, speed 250.
250, Olympic 157.
And now we're crossing the transition level. We'll set the QNH to 1017, which is the local QNH for Ljubljana.
Turkish 7, 9er Alpha Victor, turn left 5 degrees, track adjustment.
Left 5 degrees, track adjustment, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Going
Olympic 157, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1017, transition level 110.
9,000 feet, QNH 1017, transition 117, Olympic 157.
I've used the spoilers a bit to decrease the speed to 250 knots, which will be active below the flight 10,000 feet, as we should maintain flight now to reach 8,000 feet, and the speed will also reach will be 215 knots for now, and then we're continuing further to the ILS.
Olympic 157, turn left heading 180.
Left 180, Olympic 157.
We'll now level off, so we'll decrease the speed, so no spoilers are needed. So we'll continue with the flight, and we have approximately 20 miles to reach
Reg
local.
62, line up and wait, runway 33, backtrack approved.
Line up and wait, runway 33, backtrack approved, Rex 60.
Turkish 7, 9er Alpha Victor, descend to 6,000 feet.
Descending 6,000 feet, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Descending to 6,000 feet. And then we'll be cleared probably to 4,000 feet, as this is the altitude to intercept the localizer and the glide slope for runway 30 at Ljubljana. And as we are below the flight level or the 10,000 feet, we can turn on the landing lights, and the seatbelt signs will be also on. that's it for now, and still 15 miles to go.
Rec 62, runway 33, clear for takeoff, wind 130 degrees, 4 knots after departure, right report, Papa Echo 1, 3000 feet.
Clear for takeoff after departure left and report Papa Echo 1, Rec 16.
Now we will slow down more to reach Dolska, which is Delta Oscar Lima VOR station, and we will probably overfly it, which is somewhere in the halfway to the point we will intercept the localizer. So we are continuing with the descent to 6000 feet.
Ljubljana radar Sierra 5 Delta Bravo Delta, lepo zdrav ponovno radio check.
Sierra Bravo Delta, Ljubljana, živio, radio 5.
Roger, hvala.
Sierra Golf Yankee, Papa Echo 1.
Sierra Golf Yankee, contact Ljubljana information 118.475.
118.475, Sierra Golf Yankee. Yanni, good luck with the landing.
Cheers, ready, thank you.
Olympic 157, turn right heading 280.
Right heading to 80, Olympic 157.
Turkish 79er Alpha, Victor descent to 5000 feet.
Descend 5000 feet, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. For descending 5000 feet, and we're also slowing to 220 knots, and we can also deploy the flaps number 1. Here they go, and then we'll decrease the speed further to 190 knots, and we will intercept the localizer and the ILS, and we can tune in the ILS, and we can see that we are a bit below the glide slope, so we'll slowly also decrease the speed to 190 knots, so we won't be too fast on the approach.
Olympic 157, turn right heading 305, descend to 5000 feet.
Right heading 305, descending 5000 feet, Olympic 157.
Ljubljana radar Sierra 5 Delta Bravo Delta, request taxi for VFR flight to Porto Roche.
Sierra Bravo Delta, stand by, break, Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, turn left heading 275, clear for ILS approach, runway 30, descend to 4000 feet.
Descend 4000 feet, clear the ILS approach, runway 30, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Seems like we haven't intercepted the ILS, so we're continuing with the localizer firstly, and we'll descend to 4000 feet to probably to reach the glide slope.
Sierra Bravo Delta, taxi to holding point Foxtrot, runway 30 via Tango and Alpha QNH 1017.
Taxi to holding point Foxtrot, runway 30 via Tango and Alpha QNH 1017, Sierra Bravo Delta.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, we're too high, request to further descend to 3000 feet or otherwise missed approach procedure.
Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, descend to 3500 feet.
Roger, 3500 feet for Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Olympic 157, descend to 4000 feet, cleared ILS approach, runway 30, report established.
Descending 4000 feet, cleared ILS runway 30, reporting established Olympic 157.
Ljubljana radar Rec 62 overhead, Papa Echo 1.
Rec 62, contact Ljubljana information 118.475.
108.475, Holland, Svinjadik 16.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, request visual approach, we have runway inside.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, Roger, cleared visual approach, runway 30, report on final.
Roger, we're on long final and cleared for visual approach, runway 30, voilà, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, runway 30, clear to land, wind calm.
Clear to land, runway 30, voilà, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. So as we were too high, now as I said we'll continue with the visual approach as I have planned at the first time. But I have set now the 6000 feet for the missed approach procedure if it will be, but I shouldn't activate it, and now we'll continue visually. I have gear down and flaps to full, and now we're ready for landing. But it seems like the speed is not okay, so going around. Turkish 79 Alpha Victor going around.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, Roger. Follow standard missed approach procedure, climb to 6000 feet.
Climbing 6000 feet, standard missed approach procedure, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. So we're continuing to reach 6000 feet, and after reaching Lima Bravo Lima, we'll continue in the left turn.
Sierra Bravo Delta, hold position due to arriving traffic.
Roger, holding position, Sierra Bravo Delta.
And now we'll initiate the left turn for missed approach procedure, and we will have around 180 knots in the turn, and we can also activate the autopilot number 1.
Olympic 157 established on the localizer.
Olympic 157, runway 30, clear to land, wind calm.
Clear to land, runway 30, Olympic 157.
Ljubljana radar, Sierra 5 Romeo Golf Yankee inbound Sierra 1 via Sierra 3, VFR inbound Ljubljana full stop.
Sierra Golf Yankee, Ljubljana radar, Živio, cleared approach runway 30, report on final, QNH 1017.
1017 on the QNH and we'll report on final for 30 on Sierra Golf Yankee.
We'll replan the arrival for the ILS runway 30 without star and no via, as probably we'll have the vectors, and the performance page will be again activated, or we can activate it right now.
Olympic 157 vacate via Golf, taxi to aprons and of your choice. Thank you for a flight.
Stand of choice. Thank you very much for the service, sir. Good night.
How was the landing, Yanni?
Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, turn left heading 125, descend to 5000 feet.
Left heading 125 and descending 5000 feet, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Sierra Bravo Delta, runway 30, clear for takeoff, wind calm, after departure left, report overhead Sierra 3, 2500 feet, traffic show light aircraft overhead Sierra 3.
Roger, clear to takeoff runway 30 and after departure left report Sierra 3, 2500 feet, Sierra Bravo Delta.
Ljubljana radar, dober dan, Rek 62 overhead, Sierra 1.
Rek 62, Ljubljana, Živio, report overhead Sierra 3.
Report overhead Sierra 3, Rek 62.
Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, turn left heading 040 base.
Left heading 040 base, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Turning to base now, we'll set the speed to 10 and we'll set the flaps number 1. We'll need to take it a bit slower in now, as we're a bit faster on the previous approach.
Sierra Golf Yankee, we're going to be slowing down for the RFI traffic.
Sierra Golf Yankee, roger, thank you.
Olympic 157 on blocks.
Olympic 157, roger, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, then I'll be back soon. I'll do another flight. See you soon.
Roger. Turkish 79er Alpha Victor, descend to 4000 feet.
Descend 4000 feet, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Further descending to 4000 feet.
Ljubljana radar, Rek 62 overhead, Sierra 3.
Decrease the speed to 180.
Rek 62, cleared approach runway 30 number 2, caution traffic inbound, Sierra 3 at 3000 feet, report inside.
Cleared approach, Rek 62 and we have traffic inside.
Rek 62, roger, your number 2, behind traffic, before base runway 30.
We are number 2, Rek 62.
And Sierra Golf Yankee, we're on downwind for 30. If you can squeeze a second before the IFR.
Sierra Golf Yankee, runway 30, clear to land, wind 060 degrees, 5 knots.
Clear to land 060, no, okay, clear to land 30, Sierra Golf Yankee.
Reg 62, join left. Reg 62, join left, downwind runway 30, left orbit on downwind due to arriving traffic.
Join
Break,
left
break.
downwind then.
Break, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, turn left, heading 335, clear to ILS approach, runway 30, report established.
Clear to ILS approach, runway 30, Wilco, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Left orbit, Reg 60.
Sierra Bravo Delta overhead, Sierra 3.
Sierra Bravo Delta, continue VFR QNH 1018, report overhead LAS.
QNH 1018, continue VFR and report overhead laser, Sierra Bravo Delta.
We have overshot a bit, but we're now to the localizer, and we will have time to intercept the glide slope better than before. We'll maintain 165 for now until reaching the glide slope, and we'll contact the controller that we are established on the ILS, and now we're fully established. As before, we had a bit problems, I think, with height and also with the speed. We were too fast descending, and that was the cause of the misapproach.
Sierra Bravo Delta requesting 5,500.
Sierra Bravo Delta approved.
5,500 approved. Hvala, Sierra Bravo Delta.
Turkish
Reg
79.
62 confirm. Reg 62 confirm doing left orbit over left downwind.
Yes, left orbit, overhead, left downwind, Reg 60.
Reg 62, you're before base and you're turning to final, please. Left orbit on downwind.
Left orbit and downwind, Reg 60.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, we're established now and stable on the ILS for runway 30.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, runway 30, clear to land, wind 060 degrees, 5 knots, caution, traffic doing left orbit on left downwind for runway 30.
Roger, clear for land, runway 30 and looking out for traffic. We report inside. Turkish 79 Alpha Victor.
Reg 62 traffic final, runway 30, Airbus 320, report inside.
We have traffic inside, Reg 60.
And Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, we also have the traffic inside.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, roger.
Sierra Golf Yankee vacated, although we landed wheels up, so we're just going to disconnect it and reconnect at the apron.
Sierra Golf Yankee, roger.
Yeah, that's mad.
And now we'll be fully configured for the landing. Gear is down and flaps are number 3 for now. And now going to flaps full.
Sierra Bravo Delta, contact Ljubljana information 118.475.
Speed brakes are armed and the landing lights and the
Contact Ljubljana information 118.475. Hvala za prijazno, se slišimo, Sierra Bravo Delta.
1000.
And now we're on very short funnel for the runway 30 at Ljubljana, and we'll be landing hopefully now. We still have 2.5 tons of fuel, nearly 3 tons, so that's enough for another missed approach if needed. But we'll proceed now and land and taxi to the stand.
500.
Now I will manually continue with the landing and touch down the aircraft, and then continue to Golf intersection for vacating the runway.
Minimum.
Reg 62 clear to approach runway 30, report on final.
Cleared approach, runway 32 and report on final. Reg 6.
50.
Reg 62, runway 30.
30. 20.
Runway 30, Reg
10. 5.
And we have touched down. Reversers are green, we have deseal, decelerating, and the spoilers are armed. At 60 knots we'll turn off the reversers and we'll continue with manual backering to reach Golf.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, vacate via Golf, taxi to stand of your choice via Papa.
Via Golf, then Papa, stand of my choice, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Continuing now.
Ljubljana radar, Reg 62 and final.
Reg 62, continue approach.
Continue approach, Reg 6.
The external lights are now off. We just have the taxi lights, and I'll also turn off the transponder for now. And the weather radar, and also proximity warning system. And then the armors, the spoilers can be disarmed, and the flaps are set to position 0. And now we'll taxi to the position number 3, which has a jet bridge right there. And we'll also start the APU.
Reg 62, runway 30, clear to land wind 060 degrees, 5 knots.
Clear to land, runway 30, Reg 62.
And this is stand number 3. We'll park here, and we have we are finished our flight for today. Here we are. Now parking brake will be set to on. We can release the manual brakes, and now we'll need to wait that the APU will be set to on. And by the way, we can also check that or report to the controller that we're on blocks. Turkish 79 Alpha Victor on blocks, stand number 3.
Turkish 79 Alpha Victor, roger, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, се слышимо късне, живя, Turkish 79 Alpha Victor. Now I'll go to Unicom back again to 122.8, and the APU is on and running, and we'll now shut off the engine number 2 and the engine number 1. And so we have finished our flight. The beacon light can now come to off, and the seatbelt signs will be set to off. The fuel pumps will be set to off, and I will turn off the packs. And I will call the mechanic to set the chocks and to set the ground power unit, so we won't be wasting the energy of our aircraft, and will be connected to the ground power. So we'll wait a bit, and then we are fully ready to close and close the stream and also the aircraft, and then we have finished the flight for today. So we have the external power available. As you can hear, there was a knocking sound of the mechanic turning in and inserting the pins for the ground power, so I will turn on that, and I will turn off the APU, and we can also turn off the parking brakes, as now the trucks are set. I'll set the ADRS to off, and then we're more or less ready to leave the aircraft. So that's it for today. I will show you the outer view of this Turkish aircraft landing in Ljubljana. We are now at stand 3, the passengers are deboarding, and we have finished the flight. Thank you very much for watching this stream. Hopefully you'll be joining me again soon, and that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.